Hey guys, this is Larissa Page, and you are listening to Comics for Fun and Profit with Kyle and Drew. Be sure to check out my newest cosplays on Instagram at Larissa Page Cosplay.
Aloha guys, this is Jason from Hawaii. I'm here with the legendary George Perez. Mr. Perez, welcome to Hawaii. How do you like Hawaii so far?
Oh, I love it. This is my second time here. It's always been. I've always been very lucky getting the sunshine.
Mm-hmm. That's great. We know you're going to be starting a new chapter in your life. So, what plans do you have for the future now?
Well, I tend to plan to relax. I mean, I still intend to draw. It's just that, of course, trying to draw on deadlines is not something I can do. So I can draw just for the sheer love of drawing. No immediate plans. Just enjoying a relaxing life, and of course, this year being my farewell tour, I'll be able to say goodbye to a lot of the fans who have been very, very good to me.
Any last words to your fans?
Well, thank you for making my life the envy of kings.
Mr. Perez, thank you very much for this time. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Jason from Hawaii. I'm here at Amazing Comic Con with living legend Neil Adams. I mean, no. I mean, because you're the man who brought, Dark Knight. You guys made Dark Knight dark again.
You know what Living Legend does for you? Get you on the subway with that and $2.75.
Okay.
That's what it does.
So.
Hey guys, what do you got? See, we got to have interruptions.
No, it's all right.
Comic books. I thought this was an appliance convention. You guys know this glows in the dark?
Yes.
All right.
It's a big Dead Man guy. I really liked it. That's one of the cooler covers. So.
The second one. You don't have the second one? Yeah, the collection as a graphic novel.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get that. It doesn't have the glow in the dark, unfortunately. The second one has an invisible lion on it.
Oh, I did not know.
See? I'll tell you at DC Comics what's going on.
Thank you very much.
You should check it out. He yells at everybody. He just yells. Because he's dead.
He's dead.
What do you do when you're dead? He yells at everybody.
It's a good storyline. I really like it.
Yeah. Well, you can read it all in one book.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Also, too, well, like you said, Living Legends gets you on the subway a little cheaper.
No,
but also
same price.
All right.
Same price.
All right. And then also,
And you still have to tighten the nuts on the toilet seat when it gets loose. There you go.
you also brought social issues in as well. You're a rights advocate for artists.
See, this guy told me we're going to talk about comic books, and I said we could talk about Sasquatch and Bigfoot and the growing earth, and we're not talking about it. We're talking about comic books. You tricked me, rabbit. Can I sign that for you, young man?
Yes, that's his book,
for
so
you.
he'll take it on.
Whoever hands it to me. I'm a whore. I like to get that on the record. My favorite thing on this cover is this guy getting his head shot in half. Favorite thing. I don't know why that thrills me so much. But I think that's what you should do with zombies, is shoot their heads in half. Wow. And the zombies on that show are so stupid. They'll walk up to the muzzle of your gun while they're trying to, and you just blow them away. They're stupid. And the people are stupid, too. They go into the buildings.
Yes.
What the hell's wrong with them? You go into a building that has zombies in it, wait outside, make a noise, then shoot them as they come out.
Yeah.
I know, but that would be one show, and that would be it, right? I get it.
I think it'll be too boring and too repetitive.
Yeah, knock them off. Anyway. Or you could make smart zombies.
Yeah.
Like in the movies. Remember that movie?
Oh, like
Woo!
Dawn of the Dead.
Wow. Those are mean zombies. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you later. Okay.
So I wanted to, I want you to talk about Continuity Studios. Like, when did it start? And
It started when Carmine Infantino and I realized that I was spending too much time at DC Comics doing covers for them, and I ought to have my own studio. So I rented a space and I began Continuity Studios. It was a sort of a fluke.
Oh, okay. What do you mean like a fluke? I mean,
Well, I just wanted to get a little studio.
Yes.
And, like one room. And this guy I knew I was doing work with, he had a floor in a small building, and he said, why don't you rent the floor? And I said, I can't afford to rent the floor. He said, well, we're moving out. It's going to take us a year to move out to a new place, and we're building. So you can take it a space at a time.
oh, okay.
So a year later, when he moved out, I took the whole space. And guys rented spaces in there, and we started to build a company. And we don't know actually what we do with the company, but we seem to do very well. So that's basically what continuity is. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The studio started. When did the studio opened up?
I don't know. Long time ago.
Oh, okay, all right.
Long time ago.
And then because I was looking some information up on the your website.
That's the kind of geeky stuff that geeks do. I don't do that. I don't like ask me what issue is this. I don't know. You guys are the collectors. You're supposed to know that stuff. I don't know it. No idea. And I don't care.
Yeah, because it's done, right?
I got 5 kids and I got grandkids and I got a studio to run. I can't memorize, the numbers of comic books. That's like weird. If I did that in front of real people, they go, he remembers the numbers of the comic books that he did? Yeah, right, that's weird. My dentist would go, are you okay? So, no, it's a little weird for normal civilians.
No. Continuity Studios, doesn't it also, do commercials and so forth?
Oh, yeah, we do a lot of commercials, though. You're not aware of the fact that I've been gone for 3 decades. Are you?
I know. You have been gone for a while.
That's right.
When the news broke that you're doing Batman Odyssey, I was so excited.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, what is it now, 13 books, 25 pages each?
Something like
325 pages. Hey, a good size for maybe 2 movies. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. Glad I mentioned it.
Before the interview, like you said, I already blew one question already. I'm going to ask it again. So you mentioned about Continuity Studios. You guys are going to start doing comics again?
That's what I hear. That's the rumor. There's hundreds of pages lying around up at Continuity, ready to print. And we're going to start with Rise of Magic. And I'm going to even be doing interiors.
That's nice.
So I'm going to be working for Marvel and for DC and for Continuity. Not bad.
Yes.
Now you have to ask me what I'm going to be doing for Marvel.
Okay. What are you going to be doing for Marvel?
Well, word has it. I don't know if it's true, but I think it's true. That somebody's going to be doing a series of Fantastic Four books.
Oh. I wonder who that is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. And right now I'm finishing up a series for DC Comics of Deadman, Batman, and Ra's al Ghul.
Called Batman, the Demigods one.
Yeah, the Demigods one.
When does that come out?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Because, the idea is to finish more than half of it before it starts coming out, so you're not late on anything.
Yes.
So stuff all comes out in a rush.
Yes.
So I kind of like it all to come out quickly, in a bunch.
Yes.
It's possible they could have it come out weekly. That would be not bad.
Yes.
And then do the collection.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They've shortfalled Batman Odyssey in that you can't get it anymore. You can't find, if you try to find Batman Odyssey, you can get maybe used copies on Amazon. And you could have gotten it in the omnibus, but they sold out of the omnibus in no time. So there's no new copies of Batman Odyssey anymore. So they're not really keeping up with the marketplace, the old DC Comics. So I think we're going to push them to have that out again because it's part of the end of the story. You really have to read Batman Odyssey, then the Deadman series, and now the new Batman, Deadman, Ra's al Ghul book, because it's all really one story. It's intelligent. It's actually you have to read it with your mind open and think about what's out there going on in the world today. It's not political, but it has to do with fuel resources and all kinds of other things that we comic book fans don't necessarily think about all the time.
Yes.
It's more than just Speedy is a junkie. More.
Okay.
So you got to read it.
All right.
There's little clues in Batman Odyssey. I'm telling you.
I have every issue of Batman Odyssey.
Yes, but do you remember
No.
all the incidents? All right. I'm gonna mention an incident. You tell me if you remember. They're at the pier where the dinosaurs are being stolen. Dinosaur models are being stolen. That sequence is ending, and Riddler's being taken away, but it's not really the Riddler. And Batman goes to the back of a car, and at the exhaust, he turns a little valve on the exhaust, puts a glass under it, and water comes out, and he closes the valve, picks it up, and he drinks it. Do you remember that?
No.
No, you don't remember, because it just sort of floated by.
Yes.
Right? But you have to read everything. There's a reason that happened. What could that be? How can you drink water out of the exhaust of a car? You'd have to have an engine that made water.
That's true.
Yeah, I wonder what that would be. Is there such a thing? Is there a car that runs on water? Or hydrogen and oxygen? I'm just saying, you got to think here.
Okay. I just want to go back to Continuity Studios. You say you guys are going to start up with new comics.
We're going to do Rise of Magic. We started Rise of Magic, then we pulled it back because we had the crash in the comic book business, where like 1,500 stores went out of business, and the collectors practically destroyed the market by overbuying, and then they stopped. Bang. And it was crazy. So I was publishing then, and I had sold Death Watch 2000. I was going into the Rise of Magic, and the market exploded. So I just pulled back, and I did commercial art, which there's more money.
Yes. I remember that when you talked about it in previous interviews with Kevin Smith and John Suntress. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. But now we're coming back because I think this is the time.
Yes. Do you have any top name writers and artists, or any upcoming rising superstars you want to give a shout out to?
What did you think of the people who did Batman, did Continuity Comics? Do you think that it's possible that we're going to come out with Continuity Comics and everybody isn't going to want to come to Continuity?
Yes.
I think they'll want to.
Yes.
It'd be crazy not to.
Yes.
We're there to have fun.
Yes, that's good.
And I think, I don't want to say we're going to have our choice, but I think we're going to bring new guys along. I think we'll have other guys that are already out there wanting to do experimental stuff a little bit.
That's going to be nice.
And it's going to be the third company. And I'm going to watch it happen.
When are you guys going to start releasing these comics?
Which comics?
The continuity ones.
That's the secret. You're not going to know that until it gets announced.
Okay.
DC Comics doesn't do things unless you got to announce it. It's got to be a big announcement.
Yes, I think everyone knows about the Batman 50 wedding issue. Yeah.
Right. Everybody heard about that.
Yes.
Now we got that one coming out. That's the Detective Comics 1000.
Yes.
Okay, and those are my 3 covers. And they're already pre-selling
nice.
on the internet. And we've sold, well, I can't say how many we've sold, but we've sold a lot.
Yes.
In fact, I'm a little sorry that we had our print run the size it is. I'm thinking I should have doubled the print run. People kind of like that stuff. They like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, guys. We're looking at Neil Adams' variant cover of Batman 50 behind him.
Thank you.
And then I want to ask you one other question. Who are the Krusty Bunkers, and what are they?
There's no such thing, but there is. The Krusty Bunkers is a phrase that was kicking around the studio at the time, and we had to come up with a name for what we were doing. What we were doing was saving art. We didn't want Vinnie Coletta to be inking a particular book like Howard Chaykin's Fafford and the Grey Mouser. And because although the book may not have been drawn wonderfully, it certainly was experimental and interesting. So if you turn it over to somebody like Vinnie Coletta, he's going to ruin it. I mean, Vinnie Coletta has ruined more comic books than any 5 artists have inked. So how do you save it? Well, I volunteered to ink it.
Yes.
But I didn't have the time to ink it.
Yes.
So in the studio, I would have in the evening, as we get to the evening, as people would drop in, I'd sit them down and I'd have them ink stuff on the book. And I wouldn't let them ink the stuff that they couldn't ink, and I'd let them only ink the stuff that they could ink. And everybody wanted to ink the female figures, and of course I had to chop their hands off when they did that. And I let people ink what seemed to be good. And I warned them that they weren't going to get paid well, but we were saving a book.
Yes.
So we saved Howard Chaykin stuff. We saved Frank Brunner stuff on Doctor Strange.
Oh my God.
You know, we did some really nice saving. Otherwise, it was going to be sacrificed to Vinnie Coletta.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got some books for you to sign?
I still have the signing here, and it's still signed. I'm going to be in trouble.
You're going to be more nuts.
I love them. I love them. I really, really love them. But this is like after I've already had a can.
I like this one.
I love it.
Why is this so new looking? Is this a reprint?
It's not.
Oh, it's this. Oh, yeah.
It's the 227 and the,
Right.
the 43.
Everybody likes this cover.
And this is the Batman Detective Comics variant number 49 that one of the fans is bringing.
These are all, I have 27 homages to Neil Adams' fantastic cover. They called me and they said, how'd you like to do 27 homages to a great comic book artist cover? And I said, sure, what the hell? I said, who is this great comic book artist? They said, you. And then I thought for a minute, I thought, who has 25 covers? You know, except me. In fact, I got probably 100. You know. So they,
Better weather was raining.
it's great. Come on, it's great. We love it. If it gets too hot, we don't like it. You guys have hot stuff here too.
Mr. Adams, I'm going to start wrapping this up. I'm just going to close up. Mr. Adams, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure. We're
Thank
having
you.
fun here.
Yes, we are. All right. Until next time, guys.
Aloha.
Cosplayer Larissa Page. Hi, Larissa. Welcome to the islands.
Hello, I'm happy to be here. You can find me on Instagram at Larissa Page Cosplay and Facebook at Larissa Page Cosplay. Twitter is Larissa P Cosplay, and then I also have a Patreon that's Larissa Page Cosplay.
All right. Before we continue the episode, I just want to give you guys a heads up that I know Larissa, you guys got in last night at 10 o'clock, right? Last night.
Sure did. Haven't been here 24 hours yet.
And I may be a little punchy because for the last 3 to 4 days I've been going to bed at 12:30, waking up at 4:30. So yeah. So, but we're going to continue on with the interview. So, how do you like Hawaii so far?
I love it. I've been to the Big Island twice, and this is my first time on Oahu in Honolulu, and it's absolutely stunning. I'm very, very, very happy to be here. I'm very, very, very thankful to Amazing Aloha for providing this opportunity for me.
That's really nice. And then where are you from originally?
I am born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah.
And before we started the interview, you said it's snowing over there right now, right?
It is currently snowing, and everybody is very mad that I'm here, and I'm very happy that I am here and not in the snow.
Okay. My next question is gonna be: are you like a pop culture fan, like magazine or comics or manga or anything like that?
I sure am. I like Marvel comics, and then I also like Star Trek. All about the Star Trek.
Wow, I didn't know that. Is there a particular Star Trek series you love?
I love the original series, and then I am also actually a huge fan of Star Trek Discovery. I have one of Captain Lorca's quotes tattooed on my leg.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm going to ask, have you ever met any of the original cast members at a convention or anything?
I have. I've met Nichelle Nichols, and then I've met Walter, who was Chekhov, and then I've met William Shatner once a long time ago. I think that's it. I think that's all I remember.
Do you try to go out to, I think, the Star Trek conventions in Vegas?
I have been twice. I go and I help out Garrett Wong at his table, and it is like the best convention. I love it. I love it. If you ever have the chance to go to Star Trek Las Vegas, and that's like you like Star Trek, I highly recommend it.
Okay, so I know we're kind of digressing from the questions. So I'm going to ask. So do you know Garrett Wong?
I do know Garrett Wong. Oh, okay. I love him. He's very nice. Yeah. He's one of my favorite people.
Okay. Because I know he was here actually last year at the Big Island Convention.
He was, and he just got announced that he's going to be there again in September.
Wow. I'm kind of like, wow, now it's like I'm wondering if I need to save up money. Yeah.
It's a great show.
It is.
I've been a cosplay guest at that one twice, and I love it. It's a great show.
So that's why you're
that
at the
one.
Big Island.
That's the one. That's why I've been to the Big Island.
Okay.
I've never been to Hawaii for vacation. I've only been for conventions.
Okay. So, let's see. God, I know. Now the whole interview has shifted. If you don't mind me asking, how did you meet Garrett Wong? And
I actually met Garrett at a convention in Colorado Springs called Galaxy Fest, and I know he does. I think he does their programming and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I met him there. And then he needed help in Las Vegas, and since I live in Salt Lake City, it's a really close drive, so I was able to go down and help him. And then I also went and helped him at Dragon Con as well, where he does all the Trek Track stuff. He is their programming director for Star Trek for Dragon Con.
That's right, because he does that now.
Yep.
That's his.
He does a lot.
Job, yeah.
He does a lot of stuff.
Are you going to talk to Jimmy? And that's Jimmy Jade, the organizer. Amazing to bring Garrett here one day.
I can. I will be like, hey, Garrett needs to come to this, because Garrett just brings great panels, and he's really good at hosting panels. Garrett does a lot. Garrett's fantastic. I love him.
That's pretty cool. So, let's see. Let's go back to. You said you read Marvel comics. Like, are you currently reading anything right now?
Not right now, because it's been a hot minute since I've been to my local comic book store, but if I can recommend like a book for people, read The Visions. That was done by Tom King. It came out in 2016. It is my favorite comic run. It's about 11 or 12 issues, and it is fantastic. Love it.
It's been getting real good reviews, and that's one that me and the guys on the podcast on our Slack channel, we talk about that. So yeah, okay. All right, sorry. I'm going to go back to the questions. I'm sorry. So, what drew you into cosplay?
So, for my 21st birthday, I got tickets to San Diego Comic-Con, and so this was about 5 years ago now. And I loved, this is when I kind of fell into Star Trek, and I was like, there you have Comic-Cons. This is a thing. I don't know what people do. And so I looked it up, and I saw that people dressed up, and I'm like, I can dress up. That's easy. That's fun, right?
Yeah. I'm going to ask, do you have someone you look up to in cosplay or anything like that?
I look up to a handful of people, because everybody in their style of cosplay is always different. Like, you have Yaya Han, who's a master seamstress, and Jessica Negri, who's a fantastic builder. Yes. And then you have Leanna Vamp, who's turned it into a career where she now hosts stuff. She hosts the red carpet for The Walking Dead, and she has her own ghost hunting show coming out. And it's there's a handful of people, because everybody in the community is so different. Mm-hmm. And it's I can look up to Jessica Negri for her armor builds, and Yaya Han, who I use this. So I'm wearing the Lara Croft dive suit from the Tomb Raider Underworld game. Okay. And I'm actually using Yaya Han's fabric for it. Oh. So yeah, there's a lot of great people. I'm sitting here with my friend Des, and when I first started, I looked up to Des, and I was like, what, Dave? Yeah, pull that face at me.
Des, you want to say hi real quick?
Hi, I'm Des, also known as Des Creepcore. I also cosplay.
Yeah. I looked up to you in the Utah community, because I was like, look at her. She goes to shows. That's the coolest thing ever. If these local people can do it, maybe I can do it too. So yeah, I looked up to you when I first started, because I didn't know you could go to Comic-Con with it. I had no idea.
So you've been doing it for about 5 years now, right, Larissa? And then Des, how long have you? Sorry, now it's not.
Now Des is in it, too.
This interview is like switching from Star Trek to single interview to so Des, so how long have you been in cosplay?
I've been doing this for about 5 years now professionally, maybe 7 with fun and professionally, I guess.
And is this the first time to Hawaii?
It is my first time ever in Hawaii, and I'm in love with it.
She's not gonna leave.
I'm never gonna leave. You guys are stuck with me.
That's fine. Yeah. What is the process of coming up with a costume design? Like if you see something, what's your thought process?
So it all depends, because sometimes I will do a cosplay to what city I'm going to. Like I did the Lara Croft dive suit because I'm like, Hawaii, that's fantastic. And I had another good example that I now just forgot. I have an island, like a poison ivy that is made with island leaves and flowers that I'll be wearing on Sunday. So a lot of it is like where I'm going. Sometimes it's if I'm going over a holiday, like if I book a show for over May 4th, I will do something Star Wars because May the 4th be with you. It all depends. And sometimes it's like I'll be watching TV or reading a comic. I'm like, I'm going to make that. It's stuff I like. It's stuff people sometimes request. They're like, hey, because when I was at HawaiiCon in 2016, somebody goes, you should cosplay Marjorie Tyrell because you look like her. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And I looked it up, and now I love Game of Thrones. So sometimes it's suggestions, sometimes it's where I'm at, sometimes it's stuff I like, and it all depends.
And then also, too, because I know, like, in front of me you have some pictures of the Flash. Do you try to, like, put a spin on it? Do you try to do that?
I sure do. And I have people tell me that that's kind of what I'm known for, is the twists I take on characters. Like, in front of me, I have my Zatanna print, and Alice Cooper was at Planet Comic-Con last year, and I love him. I'm all about him. And so I was like, I want to do something that's kind of like Alice Cooper. And so I did a Shock Rock Zatanna where I was able to do his top hat from the Welcome to My Nightmare album art, and I actually met him wearing it, and he's like, you were the best dressed person at this convention. And so, yes, I forever win because Alice Cooper told me that.
That's pretty awesome. And then, sorry, Des, I'm going to ask, what about you? What's the process of you to come up with your own costume?
Honestly, I base it on a lot of fandoms that I've always loved. As my skill grows, I start choosing cosplays that I've put in the back of my list because I didn't think I was skillful enough to make them. I still have a lot of cosplays that I haven't touched because I'm not there yet, but I'll watch a movie, I'll play a video game, I'll read a new manga, watch a new anime, and I'm instantly inspired by a character that I know I could embody. But a lot of it does come with love of a character. I need to know the character, I need to have some form of connection with the character before I can cosplay them.
Okay, I'm going to ask, what video games are you playing right now?
Right now, I'm playing Hellblade. It's Senua's journey through. It's like a Viking lore movie, a video game, and her boyfriend dies. She's trying to go back to hell to, rescue his soul, and it's got a lot of Norse mythology. It's very dark. It's very tragic. It's very difficult to play. So I'm playing that right now, and I'm replaying Majora's Mask on my 3DS.
And what about manga? What are you reading in manga right now?
Right now I'm reading Nana again, and then I'm rereading Fruits Basket because they're redoing it for Funimation. This year in April, it's being re-released based on the manga. It was originally released without the same ending as the manga because it hadn't been completed at the time. Now that it's been completed, they're redoing the whole anime based on the manga.
How long have you been reading manga comics?
Oh, Lord. Probably since I was 12. I lived in Southeast Asia. I've lived in Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia. So I was introduced to all of that at a very young age.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And then, because of course, Hawaii, we have a lot of manga comics. Yes. We do. If you guys get a chance, actually, I'll tell you off air which store to go to.
Yes.
Yeah. And then let's see. Well, one comic book store is Other Realms. They have, I believe they have a huge manga select. I think, I can't remember, but double check with them. I know they have a booth down there. Okay. Sorry guys, I know we're digressing. Yeah. Let's see. Larissa, how long does it take for you to make a costume?
It depends on the costume. Like, this is just a bodysuit. This is really simple. It took me a couple of days.
Okay.
And I have stuff that I have an Evil Lynn build from Masters of the Universe that's based on the Sideshow collectible statue, and that one actually took a couple months because there was a lot of different pieces, and it was made out of Warbler, and so it took a lot of like sculpting and painting and all that fun stuff.
Now, when you talk about like sculpting and painting, did you take art classes or anything like that?
No, I winged it and hoped for the best, and I think it worked.
And Desiree, like you, Desiree, right?
That's great, Clark.
I'm sorry?
Des.
Oh, I'm sorry, Des. I think I'll just call you Des. Des, so, like, what about you? How long does it take you to make a costume?
It can take a couple of days, or it can take a couple of weeks or months, depending on the project. If I'm working with foam and sanding and armor, it may take a couple of weeks for it to dry, depending on the season. In Utah, it's winter right now, so any spray paint is taking forever to dry and seal. So it can take months, it can take weeks, or hours.
It all depends.
It depends.
And then, did you take any like art classes or, you know, or?
Yeah, I took a lot of art classes in high school, and so I learned a lot of like sketching and painting, which I like to sketch all my cosplays before I start them. And then I just self-taught myself how to do foam armor and foam weapons.
Larissa, do you have a favorite costume of yours? One that you really like?
It always changes. It's always changing. For a while-ish, it's been Marjorie Tyrell from Game of Thrones, just because it was my first full-length dress. And it is one that I do feel like a queen in, and I wear it, you know, every once in a while, but I think right now that one's my favorite, and we'll see how I feel about that tomorrow, because I'm actually doing Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, and I put a lot of love into her, so that may take Marjorie's place tomorrow, so we will see.
Okay, all right. And Des, what about you? Do you like have a particular favorite costume that stands out for you that you've made?
I really enjoy being Domino from Deadpool. It's one of my favorite ones. I literally bought a $5 suit on eBay, and I like cleaned it up. I took it apart, sewed it to make sure it fit me. I bought a bunch of fake guns from the toy store and like painted them, aged them, and everything. And the body paint is really fun to do. Styling the wig was really fun. I actually cut a very long wig, cut it, and I styled it myself. So I'm really proud of that one, and it's fun to be her because she's sassy like me.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Rob Liefeld?
I haven't, but he has liked my pictures.
How have you not met him?
I don't know, but he's liked my pictures on Instagram, so I die every time.
That is so cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see. When you guys, Larissa, when you guys come to these conventions, you know, do you guys get excited about certain guests that are at the conventions?
I sure do. When I know I'm going to be booked at a show, I follow them on their social media so I can promote them, but I also follow them to see who is coming to the show. Just so it's like if there's anybody I want to meet, I can take like 10 minutes, go meet them, and come back, because I'm at the end of the day, I'm a fan too. I'm really fortunate to do what I do, but I love this stuff. I am a fan of this stuff. Like, I want to do the fan stuff too. I don't want to just hang out. Like, I love it. It's great.
What was your favorite guest? I'm just trying to see who was the favorite guest that you finally met or wanted to meet and finally got the chance to.
I have two that I can think of. Or like I've met a ton of people. I've met a ton of great people. I've made some great friendships with these people. But like, my favorite person that I've ever met was Alice Cooper, and I've met him twice now, and he remembered me from the first time, and it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, this is great. And then at New York Comic Con in 2017, I was able to meet Jason Isaacs, and I met him in the green room, and this was before Star Trek Discovery happened, before it came out. And so I was able to tell him and be like, "Hi, I loved you in that live-action Peter Pan that came out in like 2002." You know, and it was a really cool moment because we sat and we actually talked about the book. We didn't talk about the movie. We didn't talk about Harry Potter. We talked about like the Harry Potter. No, we talked about the Peter Pan like book, and it was just a really cool moment for me.
That's pretty awesome. And Des, what about you? What was your fangirl experience? Sorry, the expression.
No, you're fine. I super fangirl when I met Sir Patrick Stewart. Oh, I know. I know.
Okay, you got to tell me the story.
I had a photo op with him, and I was very lucky that they gave me like a couple minutes to actually talk to him. So I showed up to the photo, I looked at him and I just said, "Captain, my captain," and he started laughing and almost fell off his chair. Because I was the first person he would be taking a picture with, so I'm sure he's heard it before, but not that day.
Yeah.
And then he was wearing these really cute cowboy boots, and I said he looked really adorable. And then he hugged me, and I'm just like, Captain Picard hugged me. I can die happy now. And then him and David Tennant.
Yeah, that was fun.
Meeting David Tennant was amazing. Larissa and I actually met him the first time at Emerald City Comic Con. At the Green Room, we watched him eat and converse with his friends. And then we had a very one-on-one intimate moment meeting him where he signed an autograph for us. And then I saw him again at Salt Lake, and I got a picture with him, and I was dressed as female Logan, Old Man Logan, and I was wearing fangs for fun, and he really liked my fangs, so it was a cute experience. I will cherish it forever.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. I'm going to ask you guys, if you can answer this. You know, I'm going to start with you, Larissa, first. What was your best experience at a convention?
I don't know if there's like one defining moment for conventions for me, but anytime I get to go anywhere and meet new people, and it's like we all obviously have a lot in common with each other because we all like the same things, but these are some of the best friends I've ever met. Like, I've had incredible opportunities that I don't know, had I not done conventions, I would ever have in my lifetime. I was able to go to MCM London last year, and I was able to travel out of the country and go to England for this. Like, it's fantastic to do this. Like, just going to conventions is the best part of the experience because I walk away and I learn so much about the world around me. I'm able to visit other cities, see other cultures in action, and just meet some of the nicest, most genuine people ever. It's
when you went to London, were you there just for the convention time, or were you there for like a few days before and after?
I was there for the convention, and then I had one day after, and so it was crazy. It was my first time like really out of the country, so I didn't know how bad the time change was going to like really affect me and everything, and so oh my gosh, I need to go back. I'd like to go back to London, please, so I can actually like see the city. And it was incredible. It was incredible to go to an out of country convention because the cosplay there is amazing. Like, I was there working with some of the voice actors that we have, that do conventions, and so I was able to like kind of spectate almost and not like be immersed into it. And like from what I saw, it was amazing. They do amazing things over there.
I'm sure he looks super cool.
Besides cosplaying, I'm just going to ask, do you also do any acting on the side or anything, or?
No, I don't. I cosplay, That's it. I have to think really hard about it because I was a theater major in college, and so like I thought that was what I was going to do, and I kind of like doing this better because I still get to put on the costumes, but I don't have to remember as many things, and I just get to hang out. So.
I understand a little bit. I did, sorry, I'm kind of bragging and we're going off track, but yeah, I did a little theater, very little, but I can understand. And,
It's fun.
Yeah. You don't have to remember lines.
I don't have to remember lines. I don't have to well, no. I was like, I don't have to wear a lot of makeup. Yes, I still do, but it's really nice to not have to worry about a performance. Like, I get to hang out and have fun, but I get to wear the costumes, and that's the best part. So.
And then, Des, what about you? Is there any one best convention experience, or
I would have to agree with Larissa about the whole traveling, getting to see new places, meeting new people, and actually having a whole new family out of it. I've made some friends that I genuinely consider family now, and being able to travel and reunite with them is really heartwarming. I get very emotional about it. But I think also one of the exciting parts is seeing people who recognize your costume and are as excited as you are about a certain character. I've worn a lot of costumes that many people don't recognize, but the minute someone does, it just makes it worth it to me. And when children are as excited to see us dressed up, like Larissa and I were Flash and Zoom last year, and this little kid dressed as Flash made our day. He wanted to run with us, he wanted to like pose with us, and it was the most adorable thing ever. And I just like that it brings me happiness, but it brings other happiness, and I think that's really, really cool with this whole thing.
That's pretty nice. Thank you, Larissa. Thank you, Des, for sharing that. Thank you. I'm going to start wrapping this up. So, Larissa, after Amazing Comic-Con, where will you be next? Which convention?
So I'm going to go to Emerald City Comic-Con in Seattle and C2E2 in Chicago for fun because Todd Jones, who works for Reed Pop, is fantastic, and I got to go see my friend and support Todd. And then my next official cosplay guest appearance that I can talk about that I know for sure, I will be at FanX in Salt Lake City, April 19th and 20th, because those dates kind of sound right. It's a Friday Saturday show, so whatever the Friday and Saturday are on April 20th, I will be there. I will be a panelist. I will have a booth. Paul Bettany's going to be there, so I'm super excited.
Oh, that's going to be nice.
Vision is my favorite, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready.
Because I don't think he does too many conventions.
The last one he did was MCM London in October, and that's actually the only one. No, he did Rhode Island, I think, 2000, not last year, 2017 maybe? Or maybe I'm crazy, but I think he did Rhode Island, and then I know he did MCM in October, and then he's coming to Salt Lake, so I'm super excited.
And Des, what about you? Next convention appearances?
Same as Larissa. We'll do Emerald City, C2E2, and then the next one that I am able to announce at this time will be Salt Lake FanX in April. We will have a booth, and we will be paneling, so that'll be fun.
That's great. And then again, why don't you guys promote your social platforms again?
On Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon, I am Larissa Page Cosplay, and then on Twitter, it is Larissa P Cosplay because my name was too long. So.
And Des, what about you?
I can be found on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all under Des Creepcore. That's DEZCREEPCORE. About that.
I don't know how to spell my name.
Larissa, Des, mahalo. Thank you very much for doing this. I know it was kind of I'm sorry. I know I was kind of going one person, and then I kind of pulled you in, Des.
We have people that call us the dynamic duo, so it's
everything together.
So if it's dynamic duo, do you guys do Batman and Robin?
So far it's Flash and Zoom.
Okay.
So far, but we have a lot of duo projects coming up.
Okay. Again, thank you very much. I'm here with one of Hawaii's own Chad Harden. I know, Chad, you're laughing at this, but every time Amazing Hawaii Comic-Con comes down here, you're here. So can you just say hi to our fans?
Aloha, everyone.
There you go. See, you're already Hawaiian. You're speaking the language. So, Chad, this is, if I remember correctly, I think this is your third time you're here, or fourth?
I think this is my fourth or fifth. Yeah, I think I've been to every one they've had. So yeah.
And then, how do you guys like the islands?
Oh, we love the islands. We try and make it out as much as we can. My parents have a timeshare in Maui, so yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is our vacation spot. So
that's pretty cool. So right now it must be great for you guys to be away from the cold weather.
Yeah. Even though it was really weird. They said it snowed in Maui the week before we came out. So we're like, what? We're leaving the snow to go to the snow. No. but it's it's got to be at least 40 degrees warmer here than Utah when we left. So.
I just want to start off. I know you started to do the Justice League Walmart exclusive, right? How did that come about?
Well, actually, Jimmy and Amanda asked me to come back after Harley to do the Justice League America Giant, which was like you said, going to be the Walmart exclusives, and it was really weird how that came about. Jimmy approached me at Amazing Las Vegas, and he goes, I just need you for one issue. And then one issue turned into two, and two turned into four, and four turned into six. And, in D.C., they really wanted me to, come and do as many as I can. But I actually took a job as an art professor at Utah Valley University, and I just didn't feel like I could give both the attention they both needed. And so anyway, I politely after issue, I can't remember if it was 6 or 7. One of those two. I basically said, originally this was supposed to be one thing, and I'm gonna have to go back to teaching. But there's always summer, so hopefully when summer rolls around, I can cram in as much comics as I possibly can. But yeah, I didn't want to get to the point where, the one thing you don't want to do in comics is blow your deadline.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, a lot of us.
And right, and so everybody appreciates it, the honesty more than the bravado. And and I have a really good working relationship with DC, and I didn't want to, basically say, oh yeah, I can do it, knowing that it was just too much. So yeah. But we had a good run, and they're good-looking pages, and I hope that everyone's liking them. But yeah, and that was the other thing. It was like, do you want to draw Wonder Woman? They're like, let me think about that. Yeah. So now for DC, I've drawn Zatanna, Harley, and Wonder Woman. So yeah, a lot of their female characters. Well, and technically Power Girl too, right?
Yeah.
So anywho. I'm going down the list of strong female characters for DC. I got 1 or 2 left.
How long have you been a professor at the college, or how long have you been working at the college?
This is my 3rd year, so I'm basically finishing my 3rd year. I've reached my midpoint review with my tenure, and if that means something to people who teach, to professors and nobody else. But basically, it means I'm on track to become a full professor. And so I've been there, and I love teaching my students. Don't love the bureaucracy.
I understand.
Yeah.
My job, I don't like the bureaucracy too.
Right. Yeah, but they're good kids. They're hungry. They're eager. They're talented, and they're almost like family after a while. So yeah, it's really nice.
Please forgive this one question. And I don't mean to be rude, but did you ever thought when you were a kid that you'd be teaching at a university?
No, I don't think I imagined any of this, and I always wanted to draw comics. I knew that, and then I started drawing comics, and I was like, okay, I made it, I did it, and then Harley happened, and I found myself way more popular than I should be, right? You know what I mean? And then, the teaching thing was a goal that I had ever since I was young, because my grandmother, my mother, my aunts, they were all teachers, and so, that was something where it's like, okay, when I'm done playing around, when I'm done being silly, I'll go be a professor. But that's not how it works. Like, I'm a professor now, and I'm surrounded by all these real professors who are, PhDs, incredibly smart, 160, 170 IQs, and I'm like, the comic. So, I do the best I can, but, I just got to remind people, it's like, hey, I'm teaching these kids how to draw, not build a rocket engine to Mars, or clean energy for the planet, you know what I mean? So anyway, but it's a good time. Like I said, I have good students.
But just just listening to talk about literally, you're carrying on your mom's, your family's tradition of teaching. That's great.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a lot of fun. There's parts of any job that makes it a job, but for the most part, when I'm teaching my students and we're in there, learning, it's a good time.
I'm sorry, I'm going to still continue on. You had a Kickstarter project. Is that still going on?
It is, and it's one of those things where, after working in comics for like 14 years, and basically putting out a book or even 2 books a month, you would think that putting out your own book would be relatively easy and straightforward. Yeah. And that's not what happens. I mean, basically, when you're doing comics, you get, especially when you're working for DC, you get very used to like doing a comic and then DC paying you a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so what happens is you go to do your own comic, and you get about halfway through it, and DC pays you, when you get halfway done through your book. Well, you get halfway done through your creator-owned project, and all of a sudden you're like, I need money. There's no sugar daddy there to bankroll this project. And so what happened is my writer, who's her name is Jimmy Young, she's one of my former students. She's like, why don't you let me? She knew that I had like over 200 sketches on my phone that are just sitting on my phone. She goes, why don't you let me make your next sketchbook, and we'll use the money that we make from selling your sketchbook on a Kickstarter to fund, the rest of Temerity, which is our create-your-own project. And so I'm sure whatever, and she did all the work. I'm not gonna lie to you at all. Like, all I did was like hand her my phone, And so Gemma did all this work, and we funded in 5 hours. It was phenomenal. Thank you, everyone. I met a few of my backers here at the show, and I'm so grateful. But the point of that is that we get these books, we get them out to people, but we take that money and we bankroll the creator-owned book, and then hopefully we can keep a steady rhythm. Yes. We're hoping for 4 issues a year. I think that's doable with me teaching still. Yes. And I'm pouring all I can into the artwork. I don't know if you've seen some of the samples. Yeah. I mean, I'm putting everything into it. I'm not pulling any punches. Lots of times with Marvel and DC and some of the big publishers, the deadline is everything. Yes. And you really don't. Everything's rush, and you don't have more than a day to do a page. And with this, I'm taking a couple of days, maybe 3 days to do a page, and so hopefully the audience responds to that and appreciates the extra time and effort put in. So.
I'm gonna ask. I don't remember. Did you mention the name of the book and what's the story's about? Sorry.
Yeah. No. The book's gonna be called Temerity, and like I said, it's written by Jimmy Young. It's a story that she's been developing for quite a while. And Jimmy used to come to the shows with me and help me do what Joy's doing now. And then she got married and got pregnant, and started her own family and. And but long story short, we always would talk about, well, if we had a book that we were just going to do ourselves, like, what would we do? And I was like, well, I would do this science fiction book, and because I grew up on like Robotech and Voltron and all this stuff. And actually, when I started comics, I had a very Japanese style.
Oh, okay.
And but the American comics editors were like, don't do this. We won't give you work. You got to change your style. So I changed my style, to be much more American, and so I figured if I ever did my own book, I'd go back and be as Japanese as I wanted to be. So, but the book's called Temerity. It's about a band of intergalactic mercenaries who are extremely lethal, extremely deadly. But when it comes to their social lives, they're just complete, awkward, backwards, moronic, and so it makes for some great, great love triangles and soap opera goodness, you know. So and it's an incredible story. Jim has done a great job. I like it because I like what I'm drawing, and at the same time, I think the writing definitely appeals to the anime crowd, which is like sort of the younger crowd, and so far it's been really well accepted. We just need to get it finished and get it out, and so. But yeah, we're hoping that it'll be very well received. So,
do you have like the Kickstarter website name or what where they can?
We're gonna do the Kickstarter in the first month of so May June.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're hoping to do the launch at Amazing Las Vegas.
Oh, that's nice.
We had a website up. I'm not sure if it's still up. I think we pulled it down just so we can get the book done. But I believe the domain name is temerity.space. Mm-hmm. So and who knows, we might purchase another domain name. Mm-hmm. Right now, that's the other thing we're going through. We're going through all the legalese, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. Lots of lawyers and all that happy crap. But. So I wish I could point you somewhere right now, but right now it's sort of in that embryonic state, But come June, we should definitely have everything ironed out and everything ready to go. And so if you want to, you just follow me on Kickstarter, follow me on Instagram, Harden_art, and just look for the updates there. I'm going to be relaunching my Patreon. Okay. I launched my Patreon at a horrible time, just at like the worst possible time in my life. And so we're gonna relaunch my Patreon and really put everything into Temerity and keep our fans updated through my Patreon account. So
I'm going to start wrapping this up because I see a crowd on your table. Real quickly, again, your website. Where can people follow you at?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram right now, Harden_art. Probably the best place to follow me. There's also Chad Harden on Facebook. I have a website. It's horribly out of date. I believe it's like www.chadhardenart.com. Like I said, though, hopefully we'll be updating everything soon, and everything will be revolving around the creator-owned works around Temerity. So,
and then where's your next convention appearance?
Oh, my next convention will be WonderCon in Anaheim. I believe that's like the third week of March. Okay. So yeah, if you're in LA, come see me there.
All right, guys. Again, like Chad said, if you're in LA, please stop by WonderCon. Stop by his table. Tell him, say hi. Mr. Harden, thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ryan, for having me out. Aloha.
I'm here at the amazing Comic-Con Aloha with one of Hawaii's own, David Nakayama. David, welcome to. Well, wait a minute. Why am I saying welcome? You've moved back here, so just say hi to our listeners.
You bet. Hi, you guys. It's David. I grew up here, of course, but recently moved back about 7 months ago, and this is my first Comic-Con in the States. So pretty exciting to be back for that.
I'm going to start off with some street cred. So, what was your first comic that you read?
That I read was probably some random issue of Spectacular Spider-Man that I grabbed at a newsstand back when there were newsstands that did comic books, to date myself a whole lot. But the comics that really got me interested in art and comics were Jim Lee's X-Men books in the early 90s. That's when I simultaneously became a fan of comics and someone who wanted to become a comic book artist someday.
And then I'm going to ask, so when did you make that decision to, hey, I think I really can make a living out of this?
Probably post-college. I mean, the one was right there, right from what I was talking about. As soon as I saw that Jim Lee stuff, I'm like, that's what I want to do. It never changed since that moment. I've felt the same way my whole life. But I was less sure about my ability to be able to do it. I was not so sure of my own abilities, and it took a long time to feel comfortable in my own skin as an artist, and it took a long time to gain the skills. Not only college, but a lot of years of post-grad a good 7 years in total post grad, of wanting to do that stuff.
And then, what college did you graduate from? And if you don't mind me asking, your degree and stuff?
Sure, yeah. I have a BFA in visual communications from Washington University, which I went to after graduating Punahou. Sure, everyone always asks you, what high school you go to? It doesn't matter anywhere except for these islands, but it matters a lot here for some reason. Anyway, it was Washington University in St. Louis. And, 2 years at the Joe Kubert School in New Jersey, a year of internship with Mark Silvestri in Los Angeles, and then finally I was starting to get work. So it's been pretty smooth sailing since then, I would say.
And then what was your first professional artwork?
I guess you would have to say it was this thing called Star Wars Tales number 7 or 17, now I forget. I had a 6-page backup story, was my first published work, and that's where I felt like, okay, maybe I can be a professional.
Was this through Dark Horse?
Yeah, it was part of when Dark Horse had the Star Wars license. It was they did this anthology book called Star Wars Tales, and the issue I'm in, it has an amazing cover by this amazing film artist now, I forget the first name, but anyway, and all the other stories are also by people who went on to become even bigger voices in comics. So it was cool. It ended up being a really neat project.
And then, how long have you been doing this?
Doing
The art, on the work in the comic field industry.
I guess you would say, if you count from then, that was in 2001 or 2002. So I was an interior artist in comics up through 2004 or 5. And then a couple things happened. I had the opportunity to transition to video games, which made a lot more money. And I had my first child, and so I suddenly found myself feeling like the money I was making in comics was not sufficient as a new parent. And so I decided to go to games, which was a little more stable, had benefits and had weekends and things like that, so it was the right thing for our family at that time. But my kids are older now, and I've gotten better as a comic book artist, and my love for comics never really went away. In fact, not working on them started, eating at my soul or something. And so I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, I felt really compelled to get back into it, and I started doing the covers at that point.
When you're working with the video games, were you one of the designers, or what did you do?
Well, I started off as an associate concept artist, so I just sort of the lowest level artist who two-dimensionally designs the places and the people that appear in video games. And a couple years of that, I found myself Battlefield promoted. They had lost a lot of people had quit over some random politics in the studio, and they really needed people who knew comics and knew the game to step up, and somehow I got the call to become the new art lead. So I went from associate concept artist, the lowest level, to the art lead, which is the highest level of two-dimensional art in the studio. And I worked on City of Heroes as the art lead for a while, and then went on to be art lead on other games after that. Yeah.
So after you left the video game industry, you came back to comics. Yeah. Were you doing interior art or just cover art?
Just covers. Mainly at first because there were, I still had my full-time job in games, and I only had a certain amount of time, so I thought, okay, maybe I should do just some covers. That's all I can really afford to do. But then what I realized is that covers are a really different beast than interiors. Interiors are more about storytelling in a sequential way, and covers are more about making a really bold marketing statement. What can you do to, given the hundreds of choices of comics on the stands, why is anyone going to pick up your comic? It's more about marketing, and it's about making the sexiest image you possibly can in any way you can. What are the colors and why? What is the concept? Is it funny? Is it clever? What can you do as an artist to hook somebody in? And so I really just fell in love with that process. Making covers is a really unusual and different kind of job, and I feel like I'm really suited for it. maybe even more than I was as an interior artist. So for me, this doesn't feel like a stepping stone. This feels like sort of the destination. Like I really like being in the comic space, and I just kind of want to, or the cover space, and I want to keep developing that. Yeah.
That's great. Do you have any covers that, do you have any favorite covers or any covers that stand out for you?
Sure. Well, recently it's been going really great. I've had the opportunity to do covers for some of the A-list characters, which hasn't always been the case, but gotten to do some Venom and some Spider-Man, especially the PlayStation 4 video game Spider-Man has been ridiculously popular in games, was one of the best-selling games of the entire year, and now there are millions and millions of additional Spider-Man fans, and they are very excited about that character, video game Spider-Man, appearing in the comics. So we're doing a comic right now called Spider-Man City at War, which is is stories of that character that players are familiar with from the game, with the really cool white spider costume called the Advanced Suit, and I'm working on a series of covers of those, so very excited about that.
So I'm sorry, so is it a Marvel storyline? When is it out already?
It's not out. It's been solicited, which means advertised. They've said, hey, this book is coming out in March.
Oh, okay.
So the first issue will hit in March at Finder comic stores everywhere. And I have a variant cover, sort of a hard-to-get, limited edition Sinister Six variant cover on each of the 6 issues.
That's pretty nice. That's really nice. Okay, so do the Sinister Six, are we talking like the original Sinister Six, or?
Well, here's what's cool. Like, in the video game, players were introduced to brand new versions of these classic characters. So as one example, Electro in the comics has a very cartoonish yellow mask with lightning bolts that stick up in 7 different directions off of his face. In the game, the art style is much more grounded, and so the way they represent that character is those shapes that you're familiar with appear as giant scars on the character's face. So it's immediately recognizable as Electro, but it's more grounded and relatable in the game. And so what I'm drawing is this new version of Spider-Man going up against each of the 6 brand new Sinister Six as they appeared in that game, all of which have really cool, unique designs.
Do you have any particular favorite Sinister Six character?
I have a feeling it's going to be Rhino. Rhino looks awesome. I like it way better even than the movie version.
Yes.
Like the original comic version is sort of an indistinct, almost rubber suit looking thing. In the movies, it got upgraded to sort of this cyborg suit thing, but it looked a little clunky to me. And in the games, I think they've kind of perfected it. Now it looks really cool. The guy looks simultaneously huge and Hulk-like, but also agile. So I think that might be the best Rhino I've ever seen. And the very next cover I draw will be that one. And I'm really looking forward to it.
So is it going to be? I know you said it's a variant cover. Is it going to be like the first issue, the variant cover?
Rhino is going to appear on the 4th issue. So the way it's going to go is the first issue will have Mr. Negative, who is the main bad guy in the PS4 Spider-Man game. Then it goes Electro, then Vulture, then Rhino, and I'm blanking on the last 2, but it's what the characters people would expect from the game.
Okay, all right. I'm going to start wrapping this up. Do you have anything else you want to add, like any other upcoming projects?
Sure, yeah. I'm a freelancer, so I have the fortune of working for all sorts of different companies. Recently, I had been working for Hasbro, and we put out toys for Deadpool and Professor X that have my box art on it. We've also got a Deadpool and some other cool stuff coming very soon in the future. I also had the good fortune of working on a James Bond cover for Dynamite Comics, first time working for them. Very recently, that's coming out soon. And I just signed a deal to work with Valiant on some stuff, so very excited about all these great new opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool, David. And David, I'm going to say thank you very much for your time. I know we're on the convention floor. It's a little busy, as everyone can hear the noise. Where can people follow your social media platforms?
Sure, I'm on all the major social media. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter. My favorite is Instagram, where I can be found under my own name at David Nakayama. I got my own website, www.davidnakayama.com. It's really just pretty much Google my name. Very easy to find. Not too many David Nakayamas out there.
David, again, thank you very much for your time. Do you want to say any closing words to our fans?
No, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for spending the time with me.
All right, thank you, David. I'm here at the amazing Comic-Con Hawaii with legendary writer and artist Jim Starlin. Hi, Jim. Welcome to the island.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been a great trip so far, and I'm looking forward to coming back again sometime.
Is this the first time to your island, to the islands?
No, I've been here a number of times before. This is the first time I made it to Kauai, and now here on Oahu. So I'm, expanding my universe.
I'm going to make it clear to our listeners, I'm not going to ask any questions about the Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War, but I do want to make a reference. In Infinity Gauntlet, Doctor Strange is reading a medical journal about an insanity outbreak in the Catskills Mountains. You're referring to your book called Among Madmen. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
It was a novel my ex-wife and I wrote together. I did some illustrations for. It came out somewhere in the 1980s, around the previous to Infinity Gauntlet, and I think George just threw that into the story. He wrote the name of it on, and it looked like Doctor Strange was referring to this outbreak in the Catskills. So it was kind of a tossed away thing.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. We thought for all this time we kept thinking that you wrote that in.
George? I don't think there's anything in the dialogue. I think he just had the book he was reading, and I'm pretty sure it was George. I don't remember it exactly, but let's blame it on him for right now.
Okay, all right. Can you tell us the story about Among Madmen?
Among Madmen is about a sheriff in a small town in the Catskill Mountains who has two problems. Problem number one is half the people on Earth have either become what they call berserkers, which are homicidal maniacs who are trying to kill other people, or veges, which are people who are catatonic and sort of walking zombies. His second problem is his wife, who he loves dearly, is a berserker who always tries to kill him after they have sex.
Oh, okay.
So it's a fun story.
Yes, because I've started to read it. It's great. It really is. And then I know yesterday you mentioned that they're going to re-release it again. Is that correct?
We're talking to somebody that would do a re-release of Pawns, Among Madmen, and maybe Lady L, I think it is. So they're all illustrated, so this one publisher wants to do some illustrated books of them.
That's pretty nice. I'm going to keep continuing on because I know our time is short. You had a Kickstarter campaign started last year, and I'm trying to remember Black Book, The Art of Jim Starlin, and Mind Games, correct?
Right, they're both out through Ominous, and they're now available through Ominous, and I'm sure Ominous Press will eventually get some distribution through IDW. I think they're talking to them about that, but right now they're available online. The Mind Games is an illustrated novel, beginning of a hardcore station series. Yes. Mm-hmm. The Black Book is a collection of different obscure little pieces of art that I thought didn't give enough visibility at the time. Some of it's never been seen. I have the entire 8-page Shazam Captain Marvel story that I did to DC that they decided they couldn't run because they were going to come out too close to the movie, which was about 10 years ago, and so the movie hasn't quite come out yet. I hear it's imminent, but that didn't quite work out the way everybody expected. So, but I've thrown all this stuff in there, and I think it's a nice little package. And we're also remastering my complete run on Dreadstar, starting with the Metamorphosis Odyssey through the graphic novel, The Price, Bizarre Adventure, or Epic Illustrated Things, on through issue number 48, which was the last one that I wrote. And it's over 1,300 pages. We're going to be doing a Kickstarter on that one fairly soon. And I think we'll have that ready for publication and sale about the time the Avengers movie comes out.
That's going to be nice. I'm going to say you got one backer right here. I'll be jumping on that Kickstarter campaign. I'm not blowing smoke at you. I am going to, support it.
I sure hope enough folks buy it. I worked hard on getting those colors right.
The last thing I want to talk to you about, the Hero Initiative. When Roy Thomas was here at Comic-Con Honolulu, he talked about it. Is there anything you want to add about the Hero Initiative?
I think it's a great little organization that everybody ought to contribute to when they have a chance. Basically what they do is supply money for medical expenses for cartoonists who can't afford their own insurance. They were very helpful for Bernie Wrightson when he was passing, so I try and help him out any way I can, and I hope everybody does eventually.
And then I'm just going to mention that for the Hero Initiative, if you're at a convention, part of your autograph fee goes to the Hero Initiative. Is that correct?
About half of it, yes.
Okay. Where's the next convention appearance you're going to be at?
Let's see, Kansas, and then I think after that is Great Eastern in New Jersey, but I'm all around this summer. Mm-hmm. And it'll be, my Facebook will be announcing it, and I'm sure the people who are having the conventions will be doing plenty of promotion, but I'm bloody everywhere this year.
Where can people follow you out on your social platforms?
I have a Facebook page. It's open to the public. I'm jammed up on one of them, but I have two of them. There's a fan page also. You hunt around, you find it, and I try and keep up to date with it, but I'm not always the best on that, but I try.
Mr. Starlin, thank you very much for your time. It's an honor to be talking to you, interviewing you. Thank you for your time. Any last words?
No, go out, read books, enjoy.
Thank you very much.
All right, you take care then.
Thank you. I'm here at the Amazing Comic-Con Aloha, and I'm here in the Aspen Comics booth with one of the co-owners, all right? And then Frank
Mastromaro. Frank Mastromaro. Yep.
Frank, I'm going to have to just call you Frank because I'm going to be butchering your last name. Trust me, I'm half Japanese and I still butcher Japanese names, So, I'm going to ask, just a street cred. So, did you grow up reading comics?
Personally, I did, yes.
Uh-huh.
I've been reading comics since I was around 5-6 years old.
Uh-huh.
My favorite of all time, for most people that do know me, know Incredible Hulk. Ever since I was a little kid, he's been my favorite character.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, all of our stuff, I've been working on it for over 20 years now with everything, so I love all of our characters just as much. But yeah, my biggest soft spot is probably Incredible Hulk.
I'm going off the cuff here. Are you reading Immortal Hulk?
I am.
How are you? I'm sorry.
It's super cool. To be honest, I get my issues from our Aspen store in Ohio. Okay. So I don't get it monthly. I get my comics every couple months. So I've only read through issue 4, but about a week ago I just got in our latest shipment and I got all the latest issues. Yeah. So I can't wait to get back from this convention that I could read them sometime next week.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Do you have a complete run of the Incredible Hulk series or not?
I do. But hold on. Well, I take that back. So not from issue number 1 forward. I wish, but I did start my collection from 180 forward, and so I have 180, 181, of course, with Wolvie, and then everything else since then. So I have a giant whole collection. I love it.
Oh my God, you jumped in at the right time.
Well, honestly, I was just a little kid when that came out, so it's not like I got that when it first came out. But when I started collecting Hulk, I built backwards. So thankfully, knock on wood, I bought that issue years and years ago when it wasn't nearly as expensive as it is now.
I know we're kind of going off track of...
Let's go.
Yeah. Did you ever get it autographed or anything?
I didn't. No.
Okay, all right.
Me personally, once again, growing up, the big time for me with comics was the early and mid-'90s, of course, and the image explosion and all that stuff. And I went to Comic-Con for the first time when I was 14 years old. And I got signatures. I was meeting Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane and all those guys when I was just a teenager. Now some of those guys are good friends of mine, but I got a bunch of their signatures. But truthfully honest, I didn't step back too much in regards to signatures. Mm-hmm. I would just kind of get what was hot at the time or what I liked. But quite a bit of my collection is signed, and it's all personalized, mostly to Frank, so it's not like I could go sell it. But I never thought about getting my 181 signed. Just never did.
Yeah.
Never did.
Besides the Incredible Hulk, do you have any other series or characters that you love and read?
Sure. Dale Keown's Pitt. I mean, Dale Keown's always been my favorite artist, so that was always one of my favorite series. Obviously, I'd be remiss without saying Saga. That book's amazing. I really love that book. Haven't read too much brand new stuff, but overall, I've always been a Marvel kid, even though we also did a ton of work for DC. So throughout the 15-plus years we've been around, I've got to know really intimately a ton of the DC books, and I've found a good affinity for those. So obviously Dark Knight and all those different stories now are amazing, and I missed a lot of those growing up, but thankfully now I've been able to visit all of that stuff, and I love it. So I'm just a huge comic fan in general. When the movies come out, everybody's like, oh, do you love it? Do you hate it? Da-da-da. And I'm like, you know what? I love it all because I want it to all be successful, because when all of them are good and all of them are successful, they help everybody else who's trying to do it. So especially us, the position we're in, working on getting our stuff made into movies, I always want to see people succeed. For sure, I like stuff better than other stuff, but I don't feel it's conducive or helpful to tear things down. Obviously, you want constructive criticism and you want to give good feedback, but everybody tries and everybody has passion for what they're doing. Sometimes it just turns out better than other times. So it's all good, because I like seeing a lot of people succeed, and hopefully that'll help us.
That's good. I'm going to continue on. I know I'm going to let our listeners know I'm not an Aspen Comics reader. I picked up issues here and there.
The interview's over.
Yeah, the interview's over. Drop the mic. Leave.
That's fine.
But I'm slowly picking up. I think I picked up the series, one of the miniseries. Assassination Iris.
Yeah.
It's still in my reading stacks, as our listeners know. I have tons of stacks.
I hear you, and I'm sure. But yeah, Executive Assistant Iris. That's definitely one of our big popular titles. We just had a brand new book about a month ago come out called Executive Assistant Iris Visions, which is a new concept that we've put out this year, sort of an Elseworlds type story that wraps around Iris, Fathom, and Soulfire, three of our biggest books. Kind of presents them all in a different light, changes the characters around, things like that. So it's a lot of fun. But Executive Assistant Iris, we do have a brand new Volume 1 reprint trade coming out early next month, because it's been sold out for quite some time. A lot of people look for it. We're currently working on that as a feature film, so there should be a lot of good stuff in the future for Iris.
Oh, okay. So, all right. I just wanted to ask a little bit about the history of Aspen Comics. I know it was started out, correct me if I'm wrong, 2003?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we debuted in early 2003. We left myself, Michael Turner, we left Top Cow, the company we were previously at, where we both worked on all the titles there, Mike doing Witchblade, of course, and that's where Fathom originated, and then we brought Fathom with us to Aspen when we started Aspen. So at that time, Mike finished his final Fathom story. That went on for the new artists and the new creators. Michael started working on Soulfire. That was the book that we launched as Aspen in 2003, and it's been going strong ever since. So for us, it's definitely been a challenging 15 plus years, up and down. Obviously, losing Michael was the biggest challenge anybody could have ever overcome, but I commend all the men and women at Aspen who have worked really, really hard on all the books, on all the properties, and persevered through a lot of hardship, because so many other companies have come and gone and closed down for reasons not even on that level. So for us, I'm really proud of what we've been able to achieve in the time frame, and putting out 30 plus different properties over that time, and just getting a lot of great books out to the fans that we hope they love.
When you guys launched Aspen, what was your guys' describe what was your focus? Because I know the big two is always the superheroes. Did you guys want it to be different?
Sure. So we didn't know, truthfully, if Aspen was going to be around 6 months, 6 years, or 6 days. It was something that it was a lot of nervousness, but also a lot of excitement. And with Michael Turner, of course. We felt hopefully there wasn't any way we couldn't succeed, and so when we were building Aspen and coming up with the concept around the origination of the company, we knew it would be focused around Michael's properties. That's why the very first piece we ever put out included Fathom, included Soulfire, included Ecos, which actually still never really even came out, but hopefully one day it still can. But that was the initial concept. Just get Mike's books out. Then, as we started seeing success with that, we started saying, okay, well, what's the next property that we've been thinking about that we've wanted to create, things like that. So along came Shrugged, along came Executive Assistant Iris, with our friends Brad Foxhoven and David Wall. They brought that over to us, and we just started developing more and more. And over the years, we had so many opportunities, and I'm truly grateful for them, of people coming to us with different licensed properties and things like that. And for us, though, it was never a matter of wanting to become a licensed property. It was about doing the hard work, working on our own books, our own creations, and getting those out to the world. So that's why over the 15 years, you never really saw anything from us that was based off a popular video game or comic book or something. I mean, obviously, we've done a lot of work for hire with Marvel, with DC. We worked for NBC for years. We worked on the Heroes TV show comic books, which a lot of people didn't know. We did that for 4.5 years. We've done a lot in the industry. But for us, once again, when it came to our brand, to Aspen Comics, we always wanted to make our own path and to tread our own water, forgive the pun, but just to make sure that we could be proud of all the properties we put out and know that all the hard work and all the hours that we put into all this stuff is ours. No slight to any other property, because we love so many video games and cartoons and all that stuff, but other people do that way better than us. So we stuck to what we thought we were good at, and now here we are 15 years later still chugging along.
That's right, because when you mention that you guys don't have any licensed properties, that's right.
So that's definitely been a tough road, because honestly those properties make a lot of money for people. And I know Boom and Dynamite and all those guys are good friends of ours, and I know they've had great success with Power Rangers and Red Sonja and all these different things, and that's fantastic. And of course that we're leaving money on the table because we're not doing that, but then on the flip side, we are in control of all of our properties, and we're pushing everything forward into other media and things like that. So it's a very fulfilling feeling of knowing that after all this time we're finally to a point where we're getting that stuff moving forward into all those other avenues, and it's our own stuff. That's really cool to me.
Okay, that's great. You mentioned, I forgot which comic series you guys are looking to that's going to be turning into a film, or maybe going...
Well, the two things that are actually on the forefront right now that we announced probably early summer last year was the Fathom and Soulfire movies. David Mizell, who is one of the original founders of Marvel Studios, who, if any of your listeners have ever seen any single one of the Marvel movies, he had a hand in the first phase and most of the second phase and everything. And he has been a good friend of ours, big fan of ours for quite some time, and we wound up working out a deal where now he came in and co-owns Aspen with his partner Scooter Braun, who's one of the most hugely successful music managers around, and those two guys are spearheading a brand new movie studio called Mythos Studios, and they created that in turn to make all of the Aspen properties into feature films, into animated movies, things like that. So Fathom and Soulfire, we've been down that road plenty of times with Fathom, several times getting very, very close, making it into a live action movie with Megan Fox and things like that, and then I got the rights back. And so now what we're doing, we're refocusing all that energy. What's going to be happening is we're going to make them into fully animated movies in Michael Turner's style. So we're really, really excited, because hopefully the goal is to achieve something and put something on screen that has never been seen before. So many people are used to the Disney model and the Pixar style and things like that. And we just want to break new ground and hopefully have something that people look at as the next big thing and go, whoa, I want to get into that. And we're really excited. It's just the beginning, but it's starting, and we can't be happier. And I know Mike's smiling from ear to ear, knowing that his properties will hopefully live on in all these different formats and have so many different people around the world enjoying them. So it warms my heart every time I talk about it.
Well, that's great. And, I look forward when they finally not only announce it, but when they say it's in production and, this is the release date. That's, then I'll be like, I'm going to see this,
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking forward to that big time. Big time. It's been a long time coming, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sorry, we're going to continue on because I'm going to try to, because I know, even though it's a little slowing down a bit, I'm going to still continue on. I'm going to start my friend Drew's questions. Drew is from Comics for Fun and Profit. So he has 4 questions for you. Okay, The first one is, the comic industry seems incredibly challenging to be profitable outside the big 2. How has Aspen been able to produce comics successfully, in this environment for the last, and I'm going to say 16 years?
Yeah, 16 years. Question is, I have no frickin' clue. But the true honest answer, though, is we've definitely done our homework. We've been in this industry for 20 plus years. Myself, Peter Steigerwald, a lot of the people that work with us. We've thankfully just tried to maneuver the waters with our rates, with our books, with our publishing schedule. We don't try to oversaturate the market with a lot of different properties and things like that. Any Aspen fan knows we average maybe 1 to 2 books a week. There's some weeks where you don't see any Aspen stuff in the store. We try not to go too long without something, but over the 15 plus years, we've really learned where retailers sit with us, how we can support them, how they can support us, just work well with doing exclusive covers, things like that. So we've just tried to work smart because obviously our books don't sell nearly as well as Marvel DC's do, and we understand that. We're not trying to compete with them. We love all those guys. We do a lot of work for them. So if you've purchased a lot of different Marvel DC titles that we've done, you've probably inadvertently bought our stuff without even knowing. But for the Aspen properties, that is something that we've always looked at very minutely and made sure that we don't go over budget and don't overspend and don't over-publish. And we just stuck to our guns. We run a very trim operation. Myself, Peter, we co-own the company. We also help set up the cons. We don't spend frivolous money. It's not as if we don't want other people working with us and things like that. But hey, if I can do it, might as well. And then that saves me from paying drayage or paying other people to set up at conventions, things like that, right? So just over the years, we've built our own production schedule and our own convention schedule and all of that stuff that works well with us to help save where we need to. And then when we do spend money, hopefully it shows in the books. So and just aside from publishing, obviously, we've done a lot of hard work with getting our digital library up on multiple different platforms, things like that. We have a very lucrative online store that sells all of our books daily. You can go to aspenstore.com and pick up anything we've published pretty much from the last 15 plus years, as long as we still have it around. And we try to make sure that we're very much a people person company. That was something Michael Turner prided himself on, and something that he raised all of us in that same way. We love going to conventions. We know these are the people that support us and buy all of our product, and we love meeting them and being here to sign. And that's just how we've treated everything over the last 15 years, and thankfully it's worked out for us.
Because, I mean, really, in a nutshell, you guys are living within your means.
Exactly. Exactly. Correct. And for sure, once again, when it comes to licensed things and other opportunities, we try to pick and choose. And for sure, we've worked on other big, high-profile books because it was a nice paycheck or a nice work-for-hire thing, something to that effect. But for the most part, it's Aspen Properties paying attention to that and publishing the books, just like you said, within our means.
I'm just going to wait for...
Kevin Easton, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles creator, will be signing at the front of the hall for the next 15 minutes. And that will be aloha to him. Mahalo.
And I just did part of the interview with our loudspeaker above us. I'm going to move on to the next question. Actually, I'm going to go to this one.
Sure.
For a publisher your size, what is a substantial number of sales to keep a single issue comic afloat until trade release?
So, as I said previously, I would love for our books to sell even more, right? But I understand the marketplace. I understand there's never been a better time now in comics where there's been the most availability of all different books, right? So for us, we have a number that we try to hit with all of our books, several thousand minimum. A lot of our books sell more than that, thankfully, and then combine that with digital sales, with direct sales to consumers and to other retailers and things like that. For us, once again, we try to work a little smarter, not harder. Obviously, when we bust 10,000, 15,000 sales with certain books, on Fathom, Soulfire, the two flagship books sometimes hit that. Our book, Lola XOXO by Sia that book sells really, really well. So obviously, those books are fantastic, and that allows us to try other more personal books. It was a lot of things we put out last year, like a brand new book called Portal Bound, which did well. Obviously, I would have always hoped it sells better, but it did well. And then over the summer, we premiered a book called New Way and Jordan Gunnarson's Dissension War Eternal, and both those books did well for us. So that's the one good thing about Aspen. As long as we can hit our quota, hit our number, we can also try other things. This particular year, if you want me to move right into number 2 for what new books we have coming up. So for this year, last year was daunting. It was our 15th anniversary, and we had a lot of books. Probably more than we even should have. Like I'm saying, I'm a big old hypocrite because I say we try not to publish too much each year, but last year we probably did a little too much. But this year, we're trimming back to normal. Our big book releases this year, we have the return of Peter Steigerwald's Zoo Hunters, which we're really, really excited about because it's been on hiatus for quite some time. But Peter's finally back in the saddle, getting that book done. So issue 4 comes back in April, and we're oh man, it's been too long. We're really excited to have that book back. Then in May comes the release of Fathom #1, Volume 8. So we're already up to Volume 8 on Fathom, and the new series starts in May for that. So that'll be a huge book for us all summer long. Then in June is the return of Michael Turner's Soulfire, Volume 8, #1. So that'll start up in June with Soulfire hitting. And then in July is the return of Sia Lola, and that will be the start of Volume 3 with issue #1. So April, May, June, July, for those 4 months, we have a new book coming out each month, and then those will continue on through the rest of the year. And then we're still kind of planning out a few special things for the fall, but we're not going to have tons and tons of new stuff, just a couple things peppered in here and there. But those 4 books will be our big substantial properties that we have coming out for 2019.
But the thing is, it's like you said, you guys have a plan. It's like you're releasing, it sounds like you're just releasing a new book every month, which is nice, instead of trying to do, well, we're going to release a new book every week, and then you're not going to have the fans like me going, do I buy this one or this one? Well,
Exactly, and that's one of the things which I feel we ran into just a little bit last week, because by all means, I understand our Aspen fans. If everybody had, money to burn, that'd be one thing, but I know it's a very, rigid, strict amount each time, and we pushed a little over last year, and there was a few times where people probably did have to choose. So this year we're trying to once again just have a much tighter, much more streamlined schedule, one brand new property a month for 4 or 5 months, and then let them come out naturally each month and progress through the storylines, and have a few cool things peppered in here and there, end of summer, early fall, and then go into the holidays with everything tapering down. That's usually how our Aspen production schedule rolls anyway. We hit a crescendo during the summer months where we're at a high with a lot of books that come out. Things start to taper down to the fall and the holidays. During December, January months, we don't have that much that comes out because a lot of people are going away, and it's really tough to stay on a very tight schedule like we like with so much different things going on. So for us, it just helps out that our schedule runs on a cycle like that throughout the year.
But that's pretty smart, because usually, my understanding is usually December, January, usually correct me if I'm wrong, comic sales in January, February are kind of down because people comic fans like me blow all our money on Christmas gifts, and I'm kind of walking in going, I got to skip.
Exactly. Over the years, so many of our close personal retailer friends out in California, Mike Wellman from the Comic Bug. Hey, Mike. He, all these guys, we've talked to them over the years, and they tell us, over the holidays, because I would always oh, hey, how was sales this week and everything, same as usual, probably even less, because at that time, you do get, of course, your regular Wednesday, hardcore buyers that come in for their books, but you don't get a lot of the holiday sales at comic stores, or at least in general. I'm sure certain stores do well and everything, but in general, a lot, it's just same as usual. So for us, with our publishing schedule, we try not to have anything too crazy or anything huge or too lucrative come out in the December, January time frame. During that time, we're concentrating on prepping all our stuff for February, March, April, and getting all the spring stuff set up. And like right now, we're in all of our summer stuff, and we're getting all of that set up. So we try to always be about 3 to 4 months ahead in production, and about a year and a half in planning. So right now, we're coming into March. We're planning the rest of 2019 right now for the holiday time frame once again, and into early 2020. And then probably by early summer, we'll have our whole 2020 schedule done. That way, by this coming summer, we know what we're doing next summer. So that's about our time frame.
That's pretty good. I'm going to move on to the next question. Sure. Besides talent, what characteristics do you look for in hiring aspiring comic book writers and artists?
Sure. So aside from talent itself, because that's of course what we look at the most, we always try to make sure that we gel with the person. That was one of the biggest things when we very first started Aspen. We met quite a few people who we wanted to hire, and Marcus Toe, Micah Gunnell, Coy Turnbull, a lot of those guys. We brought them out, had them stay with us for a week or two at the studio, got to know them, just to make sure it's a good working relationship. You never know. Some people gel instantly, some people don't gel ever. And for us, we treat Aspen like a very tight-knit family. You can ask any of the people that have worked for us over the years. We treat them with respect. We want them to enjoy the success of the books along with us, and enjoy going to conventions with us and have fun and meeting all our fans and everything. So we've, once again, like I said, Michael Turner built a great family, and we try to extend that with the people we work with. So I always look for the human characteristics in a person, not just the talent, just to make sure that there's someone that we do want to bring into the fold. Obviously, there's been hits and misses just like anything, but for the most part, over 15 years, I feel like we've done a very good job doing that, and I feel 99% plus of all the people that have worked for us are all really great people and have done such a fantastic job and put their hearts and souls into the properties they worked on. So no complaints. I'm really proud of that fact. If we had to close up doors tomorrow, I wouldn't regret an instant of the people that we've worked with and the choices that we made. For sure, other things, yes, but in that regard, I'm very satisfied and happy with the people we've worked with and the people that I know we have coming up that we'll be working with over the next year or two.
Is there any new writers or artists that we should keep an eye on at Aspen?
Oh, sure. So, in fact, two people. So, Mauricio Campatella, who is doing the new Fathom volume, his art looks ridiculous. Great guy, and we're really excited to have him on Fathom. And then Raphael on Soulfire Forte, his artwork is just stunning. When he showed me his portfolio, I did a review of his last year. I kept asking him, these are your samples? Because they were incredible. And he's bringing a whole new flair. So this year with Fathom, with Soulfire, we're trying to really step it up on those books. We try every time, but this year it just seems even more concentrated to that fact. So we're really excited. And then I know at Sia what she has coming up on Lola is just ridiculous. I know people are going to love it. So what's cool is we have a lot of mainstays that people are familiar with that they'll be able to look forward to. Plus, just like we've always done, which is something I'm completely proud of at Aspen, we're cultivating new talent and getting them onto new books, because so many people that have worked with us in the past have moved on to such incredible projects. Jason Fabach started with us, and he's one of the monsters at DC now. And I mean, Mirka Andolfo, she did one of our earliest books, and Sana Takeda, who is on Monstrous, she did one of our earliest books, and all these men and women that we just. I'm grateful that we've been able to work with such talented, incredible people that have then moved on to bigger and better work and are now making massive, massive names for themselves. It's really cool.
I'm going to say no, and sorry, I got to jump in, but no, it's not bigger and better work. Okay. They're just different. No, because how you're running your company is So what you're telling me is smart. You're living within your means. You guys know how to work smart. And I'm going to say this it does sound like a knock to Marvel, but they're not putting out like 250 books a month.
Sure.
And if you look at it, maybe 20 of them are really good, you know. And but again, but that's Marvel. That's their work style. But you guys know what works for you. And you guys stick to that plan.
Sure, and for sure, Marvel and DC are such different animals, and once again, they answer to so many different people. That's one of the problems, wrong word, but one of the situations that they're always involved in is there's always agendas for different things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as if, hey, let's just go tell a really cool Spider-Man story now, right? They have to wrap it around so many different things, and this movie, and this is happening, and this is going to be happening with the cartoon, and da-da-da-da. So there's so many, fingers in the stew or the pot, whatever, and it's just really difficult for them just to sit back and be creators and make great stories. And I get it. It's hard. It's really, really hard. And I actually commend them for doing that because it's so difficult. And we're on such a different scale. I like to look at us almost as the Pixar of comics. We try to put as much quality and as much time and energy into our books as possible. We take a little bit longer on our productions and things like that. So for us, totally different world. I never feel like we're competing with those guys. Like I said, we still do huge projects for them, and we're proud and honored to, and I love working on those characters. As I said, Incredible Hulk's one of my favorite characters. I grew up loving Spidey and all those guys, and so when we're capable and able to work on those books, I love it. I love it. I mean, Incredible Hulk is on my phone as my back, so it's not even one of our properties. Everybody always laughs at me because they're like, how come it's not one of your things? So it is what it is. I'm a huge fan as well, even though I own my own company.
But I think that going back, you guys through the 16 years now, you guys stuck to the core. That's the key thing. I mean, just from during our interview, that's it. You guys know how to work smart. You know how to. You guys know the ups and downs through the year, how to plan things out, live within your means, not to try to mass produce and then, that's great. Yeah.
Sure. No, we've tried, and just like anybody, we've had tons of missteps. I mean, I've probably made more mistakes than I've made right decisions. But over time, we've learned. Yeah. We've tried to correct those mistakes. We've tried to adjust, tweak things. And I think that's the one good thing about myself, Peter, Vince Hernandez, Mark Roslin, Gabe Carrasco, Megan Shirk, everybody at work who is our family and our support staff and is always with us day in, day out. I mean, all these men and women work so hard to keep Mike's vision alive and keep Aspen a successful, thriving company. It's not easy. And we've definitely made mistakes. But we've learned, and we try to push forward and correct those. And so far, we're still standing, so I'm happy about that.
Frank, I'm going to wrap this up because right now it's 4:40 on Sunday afternoon, the last day of the convention. I'm going to be honest, I'm a little punchy.
I am too, I hear you.
I think, yeah. Any last words to our listeners about Aspen Comics?
Sure. Well, I'm very proud of where we are. I miss Michael Turner every day of my life. But if you've never looked or checked out an Aspen comic, now is the best time to do so. We have a really cool book coming out in 2 weeks. It's 25 cents. It's called Aspen Comics 2019, The Look Ahead. You'll be able to pick it up at any comic book store that orders it. If they don't, ask them to get it for you. It's only $0.25. You can see all the cool stuff that we've put out in the past, all the cool stuff we have coming up. Once again, we have some great announcements coming up in the very near future about our Fathom and Soulfire feature films, plus other stuff that's in the works. So now is a fantastic time. If you haven't checked out Aspen, please do so. All of our stuff is action, adventure, sci-fi, fantasy. I'm sure there's something you can find that might suit your fancy, so check us out.
Frank, thank you very much for your time. Just thank you very much.
No, thank you. And I'll be remiss to add in, you can find us at on Facebook, on Instagram. We're on every social media channel. Our website is aspencomics.com. You can pick up any of our books at our aspenstore.com. We're all over the place. Any comic book store can order us. We go to 12, 15 different conventions a year all around the country. So come say hi if ever you're around, and we'd love to chat you up and get you interested in our books.
All right. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Aloha, this is Sia Ohm. You are listening to Comics for Fun and Profit with Kyle and Drew. You can follow me on Instagram, Sia_Ohm. Please pick up Lola XOXO when it comes out this summer.
Thank you.